Hello and welcome to Top Stories today. The Nigeria Customs Service has commenced the sale of seized food items to vulnerable Nigerians to address hunger across the country. The Comptroller General of the service, Adewale Adeniyi, said this. China has set an ambitious growth target of around 5% for this year as it outlined a series of measures aimed at boosting its flagging economy. Following their second place finish at the just concluded Nigeria Cricket Federation Women's T20I Invitational Tournament in Lagos, the female Yellow Greens have turned their attention to the 13th African Game, which is held from March 8 to 24 in Ghana. Welcome to News Hour this hour with me, Chioma Vic Chukwemeka, the news in full. The Nigeria Customs Service has commenced the sale of seized food items to vulnerable Nigerians to address hunger across the country. The Comptroller General of the service, Adewale Adeniyi, said this. The Customs boss stated this today, Tuesday, on the floor of the House of Representatives during the sectoral debate series, which also had in attendance the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari. According to Mr. Adeniyi, President Bola Tinubu has directed that food items produced in Nigeria and seized at Nigerian land borders be sold directly to vulnerable Nigerians to ease the challenge of hunger in the country. The Executive Committee of the Nigerian Bar Association Section on Public Interest and Development Law has kicked against their removal by the association's National Executive Council. The NEC had accused the SPIDEL chairman, John Boko Martins, of engaging in activities that undermined the authority of the NBA President Yakubu Maeku and the council. As a result, the NEC, in a meeting presided over by Michael, ordered the immediate removal of SPIDEL executives. The NEC also ordered the immediate withdrawal of cases instituted by SPIDEL and directed a probe to unravel the circumstances leading to the filing of such suits without the NEC's approval. In security, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tarid Labaja, on Tuesday today said operatives of his service have accepted the democratic system of government that is in place in the country. Labaja added that personnel of the Nigerian Army under his leadership are agents of democracy and have no intention to truncate it. His statement comes in the wake of a series of coup allegations against the military. The allegations were fueled by the forceful takeover of power by the military in Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger Republic. Despite these allegations, the military has consistently refuted such claims on various occasions. The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, has identified smuggling as one of the factors affecting food availability in Nigeria. The minister stated this today, Tuesday, while addressing members of the House of Representatives at the resumption of the policy debate series at the National Assembly Complex in Abuja. Also in the hallowed chamber of the House are the Minister of State, Agriculture and Food Security, Sabi Abdullahi, and Comptroller General, Nigeria Customs Service, Adewale Adeniyi, among top government officials. Recall that Abbas Tajuddin led 10th House in November 2023 unveiled the sectoral debate series, an initiative aimed at improving the constitutional oversight of the executive arm of the government. The Joint Action Committee of Non-Academic Staff Union of the Akwa Ibom State University, Ikot Abadem, Mbat-Enim local government area of the state, has served a fresh strike notice to the state government. The Joint Committee, comprising of the Non-Academic Staff Union of Education and Associated Institutions, the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, and the National Association of Academic Technologists, announced the decision to resume the strike on Monday next week in a statement in Uyo today. The statement, which was signed by SANU's chairman Emmanuel Okon, NAT chairman Ndekbom Udwabang, and NASU's Mefyong Umana, respectively, was titled Notification of Resumption of Industrial Action. Recall that the state governor, Umo Eno, had on the 7th of February 2024 intervened in the strike and approved the payment of 2023 leave grants, 2023 13th month salary, payment of palliative of 2023, as well as approved the constitution of the governing council, which were the issues in contention at the time. But the unions lamented that more than 1 month after the governor's intervention, none of these issues had been addressed. The Force Public Relations Officer Olumuyiwa Adejobi has described policemen who misbehave as not well-cultured and deviant. He said it was ethically wrong and unacceptable for any police officer to disobey or disrespect the directive of the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun. This is just as he stated that it was wrong for any officer to violate the rules and regulations of the force. Adejobi made this known today, Tuesday, while responding to a netizen while on the internet. Many Nigerians are now spending long hours in banks seeking to link their National Identification Number, NIN, to their bank accounts. The development is sequel to the Central Bank of Nigeria's directive to banks to place restriction on all Tier 1 bank accounts without BVN on NIN by March 1. Some of the bank customers who spoke with newsmen all the way in Ibadan on Tuesday today, however, considered the decision unnecessary as most account owners already had a bank verification number, while some banks have released some self-service guidelines for customers to link their NIN and BVN to their bank accounts. Others have yet to do so. Away from Nigeria, let's go to China, where China has set an ambitious growth target of around 5% for this year as it aligned a series of measures aimed at boosting its flagging economy. Premier Li Guan made the announcement at the opening of the annual National People's Congress today, Tuesday. Mr. Li acknowledged that China's economic performance had faced difficulties, adding that many of these had yet to be resolved. It comes as China struggles to reinvigorate its once booming economy. Away from China, we move to South Africa, where a senior government minister in South Africa has left the governing council, that's the Governing African National Congress, with a blistering attack on the party. Nathi Neleku said it was painful to see the ANC turn into a party he no longer recognized, accusing it of introducing austerity measures and dismantling state-owned companies. Mr. Neleku was close to the scandal-hit ex-president Jacob Zuma. Earlier this year, the NNC suspended Mr. Zuma for backing a rival party. An ANC official responded to Mr. Neleku's resignation by saying, "Good riddance." Away from that, a student pilot and trainer have been killed after their aircraft collided with a passenger plane over Kenya's capital, Nairobi, according to police. The aircraft belonging to a flying school then crashed in Nairobi National Park, killing 2 people. The Safalink, a passenger plane, returned to Nairobi's Wilson Airport from where it had taken off with 44 people on board. The 39 passengers and 5 crew members were all unharmed, the airline said. The aircraft, bound for Diani on Kenya's coast, had experienced a loud bang soon after takeoff. In sports, Anthony Joshua has vowed to make a statement and deliver a knockout victory over Francis Ngannou in Friday's crossover super fight in Saudi Arabia. Joshua is currently on a 3-fight winning streak and building back towards being in world title contention, most recently dispatching Otto Wallen in a dominant 5-round win in December. AJ is expecting a different test against Ngannou in their non-title contest, having seen the mixed martial arts star push Tyson Fury close in his professional boxing debut last October, although he's relishing the opportunity to impress yet again. We're following up on that story and we'll keep updating you. Still in sports, the Nigeria Football Federation has described as very sad the death at the weekend of former Nigeria under-20 women's national team goalkeeper Bidemi Aluko Olasheni. Aluko Olasheni, who had been battling with cancer for about 8 years, gave up the battle on Friday evening. Super Eagles midfielder Alex Iwobi has returned to social media weeks after he was abused on several online platforms. Iwobi was trolled by fans across Instagram and X, formerly Twitter, over his performance in the 2023 African Cup of Nations final against Ivory Coast. In the wake of the attack, the midfielder deleted all his posts on Instagram and deactivated his X account. Iwobi got a lot of support from his teammates and former Nigerian players like his uncle Austin Okocha, who knocked those who abused the Fulham man for attacking the 27-year-old. The Minister of Sports Development, Senator John Eno, also urged him to keep his head up after the heavy criticisms from fans. Coaches Ladan Boso and Chris Danjuma have released a squad list of 20 players, each to represent Nigeria in the football event for the men and women at the 13th African Games taking place in Ghana. Boso named 5 players from the Flying Eagles squad that reached the quarterfinals of the last Under-20 World Cup in Argentina in his 20-man squad for the men's football event. The players are Captain Daniel Bameyi, Suleiman Idris, Kehinde Ibrahim, Daniel Daga, and Nathaniel Nwosu. The squad, which comprises 3 goalkeepers, 6 defenders, 5 midfielders, and 6 forwards, will depart from Abuja today, Tuesday, for the event, which is expected, all things being equal, to begin on Thursday. Nigeria, following their second place finish at the just concluded Nigeria Cricket Federation Women's T20I Invitational Tournament in Lagos, the female Yellow Greens have turned their attention to the 13th African game, which will be held from March 8 to 24 in Ghana. On Sunday at the weekend, the team beat arch rivals Rwanda by 20 runs at the Tafawa Balewa Cricket Oval, Lagos, to finish behind winners Tanzania in the 5th edition of the tournament, which is hosted by Nigeria annually to mark the International Women's Day celebration. The team returned to training on Monday to step up their preparations ahead of the debut of the cricket event in Ghana. And speaking about International Women's Day celebration, which will be on the 8th of March, this is from us wishing all women all over the world a happy celebration in advance. That's it on the news today. A quick reminder of our top stories. The Nigeria Customs Service has commenced the sale of seized food items to vulnerable Nigerians to address hunger across the country. The Comptroller General of the service, Adewale Adeniyi, said this. China has set an ambitious growth target to around 5% this year as it outlined a series of measures aimed at boosting its flagging economy. Following their second place finish at the just concluded Nigeria Cricket Federation Women's T20I Invitational Tournament in Lagos, the female Yellow Greens have turned their attention to the 13th African game, which will hold from March 8 to 24th in Ghana. That's it on News Hour this hour. Stay with us here on TV Sapiencia. My name is Chioma Vicchukwemeka on behalf of the entire news, editorial, and the production crew. Kindly be security conscious, be on the alert. Once again, whatever it is you do, be on the right path of the law. Stay with us.